and I've almost finished the circle. So this is the part where I started filling. So I've done, at least in the middle of the skirt, I'm looking down the filling, and hopefully in a couple of days I will finish that, and there'll be another video of removing. The most satisfying part is removing the plate. That's the most exciting part. Unfortunately, it lasts just like 20 minutes comparing to 5 to 6 years that I spent working on this skirt, but it is. So what I'm doing now is there will be, I guess I have to turn it around. It's not comfortable to work with this frame because I'm used to the small cushion, and it's easy to control, it's easy to turn around. But since I don't have it here with me, my husband said that he won't give me away his favorite cushion. It has occupied too many things, and to take it to the summer house. So I'm using this, as we call it, the tablet. You might call it tablet, but in fact it's a top from these soft storage boxes. There's a foam inside, and not really comfortable, and the area is kind of tricky. Let me get, just can't wait for my camera holder, so there'll be more convenient angles to shoot from. Because right now I'm trying to squeeze myself between the tripod, the desk, and the chair. As you can see, sometimes I pull the stitch out using the pull-through method, and sometimes I just do the stitch inside the motif itself. It just depends how the filling goes. It was snowing yesterday, but it's so hot today that the fly woke up. So there's a fly flying around the greenhouse. I'm glad that Rudy doesn't see it, otherwise he would be flying here too. And the last thing I want to do is the flying Irish setter around the flowers. So this part. As you can see, I'm doing the small filling areas, not in one go, but just I might try to do this bit, then come over here and here, maybe stop over here and start a thread again. It's just the way it goes. Never try to do everything as one said. So as I release, just as I said, that I don't use basting in this case, because I'm so fed up with this skirt that I decided to do it without basting. And it will be much easier when I remove it from the template, because I have to remove just the key elements and the rest will come off itself. Just like, I don't know, let me show it here. See, I just have to remove this, and I might just have a quick look inside how the filling will be look like. So this is how it goes, but that will be tonight or maybe tomorrow. But definitely this week is the week when I have to finish the skirt. That's better. Because I started it back in the new year 2014-15. The reason I know it is that my Facebook reminds me. And I also call this skirt the tax report skirt, because again Facebook reminded me that we have since we don't have an accountant, but we have a service where you can go and show your tax papers, and you have to wait there for some time. So I took the scheme with me, and maybe some of these leaves were done at the tax center. So it's a tax-free, well, not tax-free definitely, but it's a tax skirt. So I've done this bit without even cutting the thread, using the Y stitches and starting stitches from the point where I stopped in the previous one. It's like a chain. Oh, there is a chain. But it's definitely working faster when I'm doing streaming. And I might start from the next thread will start from here. So I'll leave this bead on. Rudy occupied patrolling the territory, arguing with other dogs outside, as usual. So I might just, since I don't want to go from here, I might do another treble from this angle. Just the stitch is too long, So I make another yarn over. And I guess I can use this pin. So I'm not using this area anymore. And this area is also no longer needed to control. Just turn the work over again. So that you can see it more clearly, what is happening here. Plus it will give me some freedom with these hanging loops here. So I make this stitch at the corner. And just to remind you, if somebody is not familiar with this pattern, this is the Campsey sleeve for my pattern. Obviously, Tony designed it as a poppy leaf, Antonina Kuznetsova, but I thought it would be quite convenient to use it as the Campsey sleeve. Just imitates those twig with little leaves all over them. It's quite schematic, just like all other elements here, except of the oxalis. That's the exact flower that was used for this pattern. So I guess just to hold this. That's the only minus is when you do the no basting, is when you do the filling, it raises up. So you have to use lots of pins to keep your work attached to the template. And as you can see, it's floating. And I don't need any floats. It's okay if it's one float, but it's the half of your skirt is floating. It's not really good for the pattern. Now there's one more stitch, and I'm always trying to finish the filling thread at the round elements, because it's not really convenient to hide the stitch in the elements like this. I don't know, I find it uncomfortable for myself. I might do the one more stitch here. Don't like the hole. Okay, so I filled the gap that I didn't like. That's why I always leave some extra thread on when I cut it. So if something happens at the last moment, I can always make one more stitch. Okay, so as I said before, I will start from here again. And the filling is done with a thread which is about half the size of the motif elements. And back to crochet. As you can see, it's floating. That's why you have to have at least 5 pins for the element. to hold it in place so it doesn't twist and turn, doesn't rock and roll. And the other two to keep it when you do the filling, to keep it solid on the ground. I might go like this under the chain. I know it's not, I don't recommend to go most of the time. But sometimes you can do this under the chain just to eliminate the float that it might have. And again. So what I'll do now, I will terminate the filling here, and I'll go over the edge here and come back and maybe return at this point, do this, I don't know. Let's see how it goes. It's like water in the river floats. You never know. You can guess the mainstream, but sometimes something happens. It doesn't go the right way. It goes on its own. Sometimes you even have to fix with 2 or 3. And again, under, not into this chain or treble, but under. I'll use a treble here. Yes, it's a good point to have at least 6 packs of pins in the house when you do this kind of filling without busting. You'll still need it because just before you bust, you still attach it with the pin. But rather than using 1 pin per motif without busting, you have to have 5 per motif, or even more if you count here, because I've already removed most of them. So yes, before you start doing filling, shopping time for pins. I might remove 1 chain here. It was a bit too long. That's better. So hopefully the next video, probably on Sunday. I hope. I can't promise, but I'll do my best. And that would be just cutting it off the template. The most exciting part. There'll still be lots of work to be done with this skirt. Is doing the underlining. Just because obviously you can't wear the skirt which is see-through. And there will be the ziplock to be sewn in, just because this skirt is the half, it's not even half, and it's not the quarter, it's somewhere in between, 135 degrees skirt of the circle. And it has very thin waist for the 76 centimeters. Obviously, you can hardly find anyone with the hip size 76 centimeters. So it will be the lock attached. But I guess I'll give it to the tailor, to the friend of mine, and she will do this part because I can't. For me, that's just the black magic that I never understand. Even though I tried so many times. My mother-in-law, she was a tailor, and she tried a couple of times, and then she said that I'm useless. A friend of mine was trying to teach me how to sew, and she said I'm useless. So I prefer to give it to the professionals instead of hearing again that I'm useless. It's sewing, tailoring. And just to keep those beads in places. Rudy, you're so loud. We had a snowstorm yesterday, so he was inside. He doesn't like the snow. And now he's really enjoying sunshine. Happy running around the garden, stomping all my flowers, digging up the roses. And killing the prototype. Sorry, I missed that bit. You weren't lucky to, sorry. Where's the chat here? Catch your stream live before. Well, I'm hoping that now I'll have it more often. Just because, it's boring to work alone. And working and chatting at the same time is much faster and more fun. So yes, hopefully once a week there will be streaming, and I'll do announcements as well, like a couple of days before, so you can catch it. There will be lots of projects going on, so there will be lots of streams. Next one will be the project I'm doing for myself. I'll probably just recalculate and draw the waistline on this skirt, and I'll make the skirt for myself. Well, this used to be my skirt as well, but that was 20 years ago. And right now it's 15 kilos ago. Or maybe less. No, I guess it was 8 kilos ago. So I'll just redraw the waistline, and I'll make the skirt without a lock, without anything, just like on a ribbon band. But that would be just a crochet band with a tie or a tiny belt. I have a weaving loom, so I can use both techniques for that. Yes, and that would be more in classic way. I already have 5 stripes with the Roselia squares, and it will be almost a classic design. So it will be the Roselia squares around the waistline, and the stripes of them going down as the skirt goes wider, and there will be filling and the classic elements from them. That will be in the coffee and cream color, or maybe a bit grayish. It's hard to explain that color, but it's it's not coffee, it's not hot chocolate, but somewhere in between with a bit of gray. Yeah, it's very beautiful color. So that'll be the skirt, and I'll try to do that online as well. So all this patterning and everything, that would be fun. So but first I have to finish this skirt. It's obviously I cannot do anything while it's on the template. I don't think I made the Roslia squares because Myra Trainer teaches it, so I'm not trying to interfere with her training program. And all the elements that I was doing here, like these two elements, were with the permission from Antonina Kuznetsova, the author. She gave me permission to do the tutorials for them. So I'm not trying a bit of copywriting. So I'm playing fair. But you mean the five petal one? Yes, I did the 5 petal one, just because Myra doesn't do that. But calculating a bit of math is always useful. As my daughter is always saying, why do I need math? And I said, well, just because of this. If you want to make the skirt, you need the math. You need a bit of geometry. And if you want to do some redesigning everything, you need the math. If you plan the layout of your room, you still need the math because you need to have the volume and everything. So showing my kids why the math is always the first thing to learn. They're not happy with it, just like any kid. The math is something that they don't require in their life. Wonder why he's barking. There's no cat. Oh, there's a sparrow on the tree. So he switched to birds, finally. The bird dog has finally noticed birds in the garden. Yes. Well, I'm bad at math, but at the same time, with my profession, the math is required. So it's like there's an advertisement that one of the universities had the artificial intellect program, published, so anyone can apply without any fee. And I went and, oh, great, I'm going to study. And the first thing you open, you see, okay, there's algorithms and everything, and I think okay, I know that. Then goes Python, and I said, okay, I know that. And there's a 2 semesters of math, the discrete math, and I was like, ooh, I hate it. When I was in school, my father, he applied me to one of these IT trainings just appeared, so the one, and we learned the language called Prolog, which is discrete math completely. And I said, but the teacher, when he was looking at into our eyes, and he was like, okay, so there's no need for you to know that, just stick to the basic. But still have to learn it someday. Yeah, the thing is that I'm too distracted. I might guess that I have the most popular diagnosis with kids, the lack of, what's the word for that? Deficiency of attention, or whatever it is that I cannot stick to one subject all the time. So for example, if I finish this, I'll have to spend another week on the carpet weaving, and I spend another week on the temari embroidery. So I have to switch the subject every week so I don't get bored. That's why the videos are not very regular on the channel. It's just like I'm resting from one activity on another, and then the moment comes, I go back. So, but YouTube doesn't like it. YouTube prefers to have it straight. Do the videos every other day, but I can't. I'm the kind of person of the mood. I haven't finished my diploma yet. I've spent a year, and it's already my daughter, she already had the diploma for graphic design, and she started, like, it took her about 3 months to finish. Mine is working for a year and a half, and I don't feel like I want to do it. Luckily, you can pause that and just do that when you feel you are confident and you're ready. So far, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go back to Laravel, not ready to go back to PHP. And not, especially with like when I'm bit of programming terms, there's no, it's not. It's just that I don't do it. You know, last time I opened my laptop was in March, and I attached some scripts, like it's called the Vue. It's a bit of framework, not the framework, but a bit attachment to the JavaScript. And as soon as I done the Vue, my JavaScript stopped working. And then there was a lockdown, and I said, okay, I don't want to do it. My husband is not definitely not happy because he paid all the money for the course. But I said, no, just when I will be ready, I will start doing this. But so far, it's just that I'm not into it. Maybe a bit later in summertime, when I have kids with me and I have my tutor available online, I will continue. So I don't know what he's doing out there. He's probably digging up the whole greenhouse. This restless dog. So you can hear what he's doing. He's pushing something against the greenhouse. I don't know what's that. I just hope that he doesn't dig up my hippeastrums that I left outside as an experiment, if they can survive our winter. Well, from sounds like it is. Yes. He's a good redesigner of the garden. He already dug up the huge hole near my polka climbing rose and irises, and now he's making another dig up from another side of the greenhouse. So as I always joke that if anyone wants the landscape designer, I have one to offer. He's very helpful sometimes in the garden. Like a couple of years ago, I planted, I don't know what's the word, topinambur. It's like potato, but bit different taste. And he was really helpful digging it out. So we used that as a digger to harvest topinambur. And now he thinks that he's allowed to do everything, to dig up everything in the garden that smells like edible. I don't know what he finds in my hippeastrum bed. It's too early for the baby birds, so I guess he's repotting my hippeastrums. Okay, so what I'll do, just because I don't like the straight lines, I'll probably do something like this, or maybe even better. I don't like this even in the regular filling, to have areas like that look like the fillet mesh, and trying to avoid it. So I'm always making diamonds and what's the word? Trapeze. I use Latin word trapeze. Just like, that's something that looks like the iron board or the lion star, zodiac. Yeah, trapezoid. So as you can see, and I turn it into the pentagon easily. And like this. Oh, it's fun. And it's very relaxing. If only my neck wouldn't kill me. I have a protrusion and hernia in my neck, so I can't really stay up working a very long time. So far it's okay. And I don't know what he's doing out there. I'm afraid. I'm scared to look out what he's doing. I'm afraid to look out. There might be the Jack Horner sitting next to him, digging up another dinosaur from my garden. The sounds are like he's digging up a very big hole. So he's either barking or digging and pulling something. So I find it just like any kid. I was so disappointed when I found out that our land is very new, relatively, is that there is no dinosaurs. Like the area of the Caspian Sea was formed after the dinosaurs became extinct. And I think it's unfair that like kids in England can find the ichthyosaur, the kids in US, they can find triceratops and T-Rexes in the back gardens. And the only thing we can find is just cave painting, which is just about 3 kilometers away from me. And I can see the mountain where it is from my window. And there's actually there's one more project that will be involved those cave paintings. I have already sent some patterns to Myra, so if you, there will be my pattern in Myra's book. hopefully. If she can read my scripts, my mess, because I'm good at crochet, but I'm very bad at writing and painting. My daughter is. She's great at drawing, and she finished the graphic design. She's only 16, but she already has a profession. But my handwriting is terrible. So if if she publishes it and she doesn't change it just the way as I sent her, please keep it in mind that I'm very poor drawer, very poor artist. Yes, I'm waiting also from Myra for a couple of permissions for the pattern making. Yes, tack skirt. I've already done the two dresses of this pattern. So this is the skirt, and there's the dresses were made with very dark blue and white, and there's one set I have for salmon, and there's some others, like probably will do the top with the same elements. Yes, definitely there will be lining, definitely. I'm thinking about the elastic cotton, just because the skirt itself is very elastic, and you definitely need a lining for that. No, that's okay. That's okay. That's fun. You know, I've been in isolation for such a long time, so there's people chatting to me that I already forgot what the chatting means. There's always Facebook. Yes. He doesn't also only bark, but right now he's redesigning my flower bed. He spotted a mouse once, and now he thinks that the mouse lives under the greenhouse. So he tries to dig up everything under the greenhouse. Let me get the... Oh, there's one temari that I can use as a holder. That's what I do on my other channel, Handicrafts A to Z. So if you're interested, you can subscribe to that. It should be in the similar or suggested channel next to the videos. So as I said, when I'm fed up and tired from Irish crochet lace, I switch to weaving and temari embroidery, and like this. And it's very useful and works as support for the frame. Right. I'll probably stop somewhere around here, because it's almost an hour online. And yes, Rudy only sounds very vicious, but he's the sweetest dog I've ever seen in my life. Just like any Irish setter, he's a very gentle dog, very sweet. self-minded, but I love him to bits. So there's another diamond here. And yeah, so my usual time, I guess it'd be the most convenient for me. This one, except of shamrocks, and these the Irish roses. The others are from the modern Irish crochet lace developed in the former Soviet Union. These two elements are designed by Antonina Kuznetsova. She's a very good friend of mine. And others, just the variations of these. And there's lots of magazines like Moi, the magazine of fashion, Journal Mode. And there are lots of patterns in that. But again, I'm using the patterns that are either the antique, there's no copyright violation, or I use the permission from the developers, designers. So I don't want to have any copyright issues. Yes, there will be, and also I plan to make the project from the what's the French word? The French version of Irish crochet lace. And there will be lots of from the Priscilla elements and Madame Ardenne, as there are lots of elements that I would love to make, but since it is always busy and lots of stuff going around, so when I try to find time and do the videos for other elements. But just as I said, is that I usually make the videos for the elements that I will be using in my projects, and it's a bit difficult to do it just for fun, but I have to try that too. Especially the French, the Madame Ardenne, translating it into something like is very funny. It's like put two cabbages and the patch onto something, and it's like, wait, what cabbage, what patch? So I have to have time to read and understand, translate it, and from Old French to the English, and then from English to Russian to understand that, and then translate it back to normal English, modern, and do the video. So I've done the most of the part that I've planned for today. I guess I'll stop for now, and hopefully I'll be here online on Sunday. So I'll be showing you the removing it off the template Yes, if you do it most of all the time, you get used to that, so it will go fast. And I'll just trying to show. So if you have to leave it like this, make the very long stitch, like 1/2 meter. So even if you pull your thread, it doesn't come off, it doesn't ruin your work. So what I'm trying to show, what I have left is just this is the waistline, the belt. So I have to think about how to make this area for the log. And from this point, it's almost finished. Just a little bit at the hem. And yeah, hopefully in a couple of days I'll finish this, and there'll be another video for removing this, the most exciting part, and I can't wait for that. And just as I said, I promised I show you in the beginning. Easy to remove and have a peek of how it will look inside. Yeah, so that's how it will look when I remove it. That's one of the advantages of having it pinned, not busting. So you can always have a look what's happening inside. It's quite exciting, isn't it? So I have to work, and I'll see you on Sunday about the same time, 11 GMT. Stay tuned. Bye.